Alright, welcome to the final episode of Physics After Hours. Today I will be making physics-based questions based on Genshin Impact, which is a game that I am concerningly addicted to, but I just thought this would be fun. So, let's start with our story. So our story starts with Paimon was yeeted into the water, this water right here, and when she's eaten into the water, it creates ripples out, and I want you to be able to calculate the energy of the ripples that the water creates with the variables that we have, which is just the R. And two, knowing the mass, can we calculate the buoyant force of Paimon in the water? So while Paimon's in the water, our main character tries to fetch Paimon out with the fishing rod, but accidentally uses too much force and kind of yeets our Paimon into space. So our Paimon is thrown all the way up into Celestia, which is this island right here, this floating island of the gods, where she hit one of the gods up there, Zhongli, who was playing cards with his friend Venti, which is also another god. But when Paimon hit Zhongli in the head, Zhongli revealed that he had a royal flush. And while that happened, his gnosis, which is this thing right here, fell out of his pocket and down into out back at Earth. But our first question here after that is, what is the entropy of Zhongli getting that royal flush? So now to our next question. Since that gnosis is now falling from the ground, that gnosis is what is keeping this floating island afloat. But since that gnosis is not there anymore and it fell out of his pocket, this island started flying towards the Earth. And knowing the variables that we have in this picture, I want you to calculate the speed of Celestia when it hits the ground. Yeah, and here's the gnosis here that's falling towards the Earth. So besides that, the gnosis, while Celestia is falling, the gnosis hits the Earth's surface first and falls onto the lid of this pot, this big pot right here, and causes the pot to push deeper into the container. Keep in mind, I want you to just imagine this as a cylinder because I thought that would be more probably understandable. But I want you to be able to calculate the pressure of the ideal gas, knowing the masses of the gnosis and the cap as it pushes down into the container. But while that's happening, the cryo slime, which also keep in mind it has the same properties of ice, of how it melts and just how ice works, I went to go check out the what happened, but it started to melt due to the heat from this pan. So knowing the mass of the slime and the heat fusion of ice to water, what is the heat energy needed to melt the slime? So now onto our next question, back to Celestia. When it hits the ground, it causes an earthquake, which causes kind of energy ripples through the ground and makes this spring with a slime that was just chilling on it to isolate, or oscillate, not isolate, oscillate. And knowing one of the variables above, can we calculate the frequency at which the spring oscillates? So on top of that, while an earthquake is happening, our friend Sucrose right here is trying to harness the energy from that earthquake into work to for her refrigerator, so to keep her experiments at a good temperature. And assuming that this fridge is a Carnot fridge, I hope I spelled that right, can we calculate the efficiency of the fridge? And finally, as the earthquake hits a cave that Razor's sleeping in, it scares him, and he lets out a roar that echoes in the cave. And with that, I want us to calculate the resonant frequency of the sound Razor lets out in the cave. Yeah, so these are my questions, and I hope you enjoyed our little story right here.